Why make such a video now? Well, technically we filmed it a couple weeks ago, but I'm just now getting around to posting it. Anywho, recent events have forced many businesses to close, including thrift shops. And thrift stores aren't just businesses. Most of them contribute to a lot of charitable endeavors, such as homeless shelters and job training for learning disabled adults. Not to mention they provide a sustainable option for clothing and fabric, which is why supporting businesses like these is very important to me. But mayhap you ask, how dareth thee shop during such a plague? Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention a couple things. Firstly, we operated out of an abundance of caution, keeping a box of disposable gloves by the door to be switched out with each new place we shop, as well as a surplus of masks. Clothes were not tried on before they were bought, and lastly, because of the RV, no hotel rooms were sullied by our sleepy germs amidst our travels. Hopefully that quells any moral quandaries you have with this video. Now, without further ado, let me introduce you to our cast of characters. This is Courtney and JJ. You may remember them from last year's trip, but this year we added a third sibling. This is their little brother, Steven. And this is their youngest sister, Ruthie, who actually didn't go on the trip, so forget I mentioned her. Last but not least, this is Rudy. We decided to take him as opposed to this, the mammoth SS Latrexa, because he's easier to park and ironically sleeps more people. Our story begins one chilly Ohio night, in this exact room. Alright guys, and what's the plan? No plan. Where are we going?
We don't know.
I didn't even know for sure we were going on this trip till you guys walked through my door.
I decided early on that I wanted to make this my most cinematic video yet. After recording this scene, I forgot that I decided that, and so the rest of the video is not very cinematic. So we shot off into the dark like a giant steel thunderbolt. Or is it bolts? We knew only that we wanted to go south because we're from Ohio, where there is no north. And if you're thinking, oh, well, what about Canada? No, there is no Canada this time of year. Like, why would anyone? Anyway, we woke up the next morning in Cincinnati, Ohio.
How did everybody sleep?
Pretty good,
well.
actually.
Really?
Not great.
And then the thrifting commenced.
Ow. Oh, I thought I could just...
I was immediately drawn to this dress that kind of serves as an optical illusion, and the illusion is that I look happy to be wearing it, but I was actually planning on donating it right back. But wipe away those sympathy tears because I was very pleased with my next outfit.
This lighting makes this tooth look really big.
I didn't get this dress, but I took a picture of it because I want to make something just like it. Why didn't I get it? Took a picture of this because I thought it was cute, but I didn't buy it. And then I did buy this because a little girl was buying the exact same thing. And in a job like this, I need to stay looking young and appealing to the younger crowd for as long as possible. The adult flower girl dress was beautiful, but didn't fit me quite correctly, though I think with a few alterations, I'd be ready to toss an abundance of artificial flower petals down any aisle. Contact my agent if you want me in your wedding. Then we went into one of those bougie hipster vintage thrift shops, do we still say hipster? Where everything was a bit too expensive for consumption, also not edible for consumption. So rather than buy or eat any of it, I just let it inspire me. Up next on the menu, another Goodwill.
If this is the future of fashion, I've lived long enough.
While shopping, I wore this simple Kermit the Frog green dress that I got at the first Goodwill. I found some shoes I liked and a shirt I didn't understand, and then we hit the road. Sorry I didn't vlog while I was driving, but no, I take back that apology. Do you want me to die? We settled in for our second night at a Walmart parking lot.
Is that like a lifeguard for the parking lot?
That night I slept soundly with the knowledge that I wouldn't drown in the parking lot because there was a lifeguard, so in the morning I wanted to thank him, but I suppose we drifted somewhere else in the middle of the night. There's Courtney dusting off her face.
You get on TikTok much?
Not since COVID started.
Anyway, so there's this trend. A bunch of these questions girls text and ask their boyfriend.
But
If they didn't have boyfriends, they'd ask their brother. And I was like, I wonder what my brother would say to these, or Courtney's brother.
What's one of the questions?
Do I look better with my hair curly or straight?
Steven?
My hair look better curly or straight?
curly.
Naturally curly or curled with a flat iron, like a smooth?
JJ, does
What
Courtney look
about-
better with her hair curly or straight?
Curled.
What was it? Naturally curly or like...
Artificially? What's your favorite thing about Courtney?
She gives
Oh.
me free haircuts.
Yeah, she's pretty generous.
What do you think is Courtney's prettiest feature?
I don't really think about that. But her eyes.
What was your first impression of Courtney?
I liked having her around.
A
Like,
really
having
cute
her.
picture,
There's some
actually,
videos.
of JJ and I.
What the heck?
Seeing this not unsettling at all picture of Courtney and JJ made me miss my own brother. So I reached out to him and asked him some of the same questions. One might call his answer to the first question confusing, but his answer to the second, well, I just wasn't prepared for it.
I wasn't expecting such a heavy response.
Before I knew it, my tears created a river that carried us all the way to Mississippi. While in Mississippi, we saw this gorgeous old dwelling that used to be inhabited by Victorian Homo sapiens. Obviously, I couldn't resist the opportunity to indulge in my favorite hobby and pretend to be a tour guide in every room. I was hesitant at first, for the fact that we actually had a tour guide might make things awkward, but that proved not to be an issue. I'll explain later. Touring this house really inflamed my already deep desire to have a dope old house of my own someday. We all had a great time sharing in our various areas of expertise.
Cheese is bacteria and milk. This is a cellar.
This is a cellar.
Okay.
One especially touching moment was coming out onto the veranda and hearing Courtney making conversation with our tour guide.
So what we're gonna do for your hair is put some highlights in that all over. Get a lot of blonde in there.
We do the best we can, but
Yeah.
After such a long tour, I did feel the need to go to the bathroom, but after seeing the options that were available to me, I decided to save it for the RV. While that peekaboo potty was pretty cool, it wasn't the highlight of the day because the highlight was this tour guide. Not only did he not dispute my sketchy history claims, he actually started agreeing with them.
The big ring in the bathtub, is that a portal to another dimension? Like if you turn on the... Then you go to a different dimension? That's so cool. Like time travel maybe? The awnings over all the beds. I'm assuming that's because the Mississippi sun is so bright, it permeates even at nighttime and can sunburn people in their beds.
The other thing too is lots of times they had netting because
So the ghosts couldn't get
in there.
Yeah.
At night.
And which is a higher carrier of malaria, ghosts or mosquitoes? The bucket of pine cones over here, is that to throw at intruders for self-defense?
Yeah.
That's a authentic antique pooper scooper, right?
Oh yeah.
And here we have the household jail. Back in the olden days, they were very tough on punishing their children/wives. So each home had a little jail, and anyone who stepped out of line would be put in this jail.
You're trying to get him to go.
Suffice to say, he knew how to have a good time. If I were ever a Mississippi, I'd hope for someone like him to be my Mr. Sippy. Since he gave us such a great tour, we decided to give him a tour.
Really cool.
Thanks! We have a bed here, and then somebody can sleep up there, and then this turns into a bed.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah.
You even keep it clean.
Then after a bit more traveling, we crossed over the Mississippi River, and let me tell you, this miss wouldn't take a sip of that pea-filled water. Okay, and then we were in Louisiana, which was great because it meant I had to stop making Mississippi jokes. We were about to head into New Orleans, and the jubilation put us in such a good mood, we decided to let JJ ride inside.
Okay, JJ, you can come in the car now.
Physically, the streets of New Orleans were pretty narrow, but spiritually, they were pretty broad if you read your Bible and know what I'm talking about. For my New Orleans outfit, I wore this rust-colored thrifted jumpsuit. Then we walked around and did some good people watching. Honestly, for us homeschool-raised Midwesterners, there wasn't a lot to do in New Orleans, but the food was superb, and Grandpa JJ bought, and I do mean bought, some beads off of a guy on the corner. Then we went to a gas station and focused all our energy on perfecting whatever this is.
Get her legs. Yeah, and then... Exactly. Nice. Straighten. Were you using your arms? No, you got it. I'll show you. Well, that's so much easier. I think you have a shorter torso. Working out. These are not mine. I did not get these.
JJ gave them to me. You bought them.
For 4 people who have never had alcohol in their life, we seem pretty drunk. It's the pudding cake. Bread pudding. Splash Christmas store. Pools, spas, patio furniture. All your Christmas needs. Heck yeah. For all our two-headed queens out there. Is this mug for sale right here?
Yes, ma'am.
That's Benjamin Franklin, right?
Yes, ma'am.
He has the same personality type as me. Hey, look at this mug I got.
Benjamin Franklin.
Guess what his Myers-Briggs personality type was?
ENTP.
Yes! Ever wondered what goes on in Ben Franklin's head? It's dirty. I need a mask. Okay, something interesting better happen while we're here because we need content.
We saw a birdhouse back there.
That'll be one to tell the grandkids. Very exciting, Steven.
For some vacation inspiration, I turned to a few thousand of my most trusted advisors. We were quickly able to tackle 2 of the suggestions when Steven found a frog-crocodile hybrid.
I just kissed a baby alligator. I dare you to step on that sign. So now, because one Instagram user suggested it, we are going to try to get Vogue photos. We can stop here. Okay. Block the, okay, what would Zendaya do, JJ?
I have no idea.
Okay, Courtney, could I have you lay across the top here? Could I have you lay across this somehow? Yeah. We found this field of wildflowers. Goodbye, everybody.
That night, as we prepared to sleep in a Cracker Barrel parking lot, I pulled a Dateline. I wanted to see what my friends talked about whenever I left the room.
Hey guys, I'm gonna pee, so talk a lot so you can't.
So Steven!
Guys, that's not funny!
I'm not crushing you!
That'll be JJ.
It's cold outside, JJ. We need it warm. This is so weird. I can't do anything about it. We need to get warm, JJ. This is assault. Just plain assault because I can't.
Somebody find the salt? Steven, what's the goal?
I'm cold. Oh my.
Does it just make you feel tough to overtake your older brother?
Yeah? He would always wrestle me, but now he never wants to.
You know what makes me uncomfortable? Pre-bedtime questions. What celebrity do you think got carried away with plastic surgery?
That Dolly Parton person.
Yeah, I think her name is, Grandpa JJ doesn't have an answer because they didn't have plastic back in his day. What is the best part of being you?
That's my birthday today.
That's the best thing about you.
Steven, what's the best part about being you?
You can sit on JJ and he can't move.
What's the best part about being you? Is it all the YouTube comments you get about yourself? If you comment something about JJ, he'll probably respond to you. The best thing about being me.
It's my daddy.
JJ,
What?
what's the most dangerous thing you've ever done?
This RV trip.
Just the proximity to Steven?
What about when you walked on the ice? That was That's probably driving through the river though.
Steven, what's the most dangerous thing you've ever done?
Jumping on the train.
Wait.
The time we went canoeing and
Come up with yours.
Yeah, but like flopping out of the high dive.
The next morning, we drove through Giza, Egypt, or some city in America that I can't quite recall, but in the distance, there was this gigantic sci-fi pyramid, and I mused about what it was there for.
Some sort of future space Bass Pro Shop. Really?
Then we obeyed the following commands, which were go thrifting and go buy clothes. We found this Goodwill somewhere in the state of misery, parked in a parking lot, and then tried to get a thumbnail that really sent the message, we are very cautious and maybe even morally superior. Upon entering the Goodwill, my eyes were met with a poncho, and as much as I like that character from Emperor's New Groove, I wasn't sure I could be the one to bring ponchos back in mainstream style, so I initially put it back and thought, I'll wait till Best Dressed does it first, but then it somehow ended up in my cart, so I got it. Excited to find this silk slip dress that I could wear as a shirt or just wear under everything, and it really came in handy. One, because in weather like this, any extra layer is appreciated, and two, because it was just made it a little less awkward to change in the middle of a park several feet away from a metal detecting person. Suggestion time.
Welcome! So everybody in the vehicle has like the same music taste, except JJ. JJ's taste is covers. Covers are almost never as good as the original, and he only listens to covers. It's like living with an episode of Grey's Anatomy.
Let's waste time.
Speaking of wasting time, I got on Instagram, this time determining I would only follow suggestions from people with the most elegant usernames. So naturally, I had to take Literary Potato Goblin up on their request to see me dance.
what song is this?
I had the RV to myself for a little bit because the Markleys all went outside to like catch fish with their teeth or something like that. So I am going to get some work done.
Back at that time, I was working on my dressing only as Margot Robbie characters for a week video.
But I can't seem to get it below any acceptable amount of time. I really don't know how long of a video people would be willing to watch from me, so I think I'm gonna
Ask my Instagram followers about it.
So ask I did. And the volume of the outpouring of responses was staggering and confusing. But all went well and that video ended up being released, and I think it's my favorite one I ever made. Way better than this one.
What's up?
Got some pizza.
Where'd the pizza come from?
Dolly Parton.
Oh, hi there. I'm just filming us eating because audiences like relatability, and I've been told eating is relatable. Bone apple teeth. Courtney, what are you gonna have written on your tombstone?
She never...
Could think of what she wanted to say. Steven, what are you gonna have on your tombstone?
I've always thought that no one has ever really benefited from diagramming sentences, so something along those lines.
Since that's taken out, dude, she never once cussed in her whole life.
I got mine. The Micarah Tours' best friend. It's really sad.
I woke up to a disturbance, and this was it. Steven's scrolling through Zillow.
It's the Instagram of responsible adults.
Courtney's making coffee. I'm doing my makeup. And JJ's talking about Amish people stealing things.
No.
You're gonna have the Amish bury the body because the Amish are above the law.
What body?
You were talking about a body earlier. How you're gonna plant endangered plants over a body. I said just build a historical landmark over it, like a house that is over 200 years old. Build that on top of where you bury the body, and then they're not allowed to dismantle it to try to find the body. Because it's a landmark. These were my size. I would literally eat them. What am I seeing? Oh my gosh, I don't need this, but what if someday I have 19 tuplets?
I got a lot of great thrift finds in India. I'm not sure where I actually was when I filmed this. Sorry, at the time of editing, I haven't had sugar or caffeine in over a week, so if that explains my attitude, I apologize.
Oh, I was gone too long. JJ's doing science experiments.
He tends to do that when left to his own devices. Oh, I remember where we were now. We were in Illinois still. That's where we were when Steven was walking around and a cop pulled up and asked him what he was looking for, and he said,
The pizza machine? I don't know.
Basically, the theme of this trip is us going places and walking around the outside of them because we can't go in. But it hasn't been so bad. Right now, we're basically in a ghost town that is Abraham Lincoln's. I don't know.
Behind me is the famous home of Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln may have been a president, but he wasn't much different from you and I. Like most of us, he's the product of reincarnation. He actually spent his prior life as an animal, specifically a giraffe named Penny, which some say may account for his unusually high stature. And as you probably already know, that is why his coin is famously called the penny.
Look who just showed up to the party.
Man, I'm not opposed to this, but did you get all your fake history film?
Fake?
Sketchy.
There's a big difference between fake and sketchy, JJ, and I am offended.
So that's that. The only way I really made it through editing this video was by entertaining myself by occasionally making it look like my friends said things they didn't actually say.
So, in conclusion, I think what we learned here today was